The Galactic Council's secret. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, a clandestine organization known as the Galactic Council had long maintained its iron grip on interstellar affairs. Composed of the most advanced alien races, the Council prided itself on its superiority and carefully curated the development of younger species across the galaxy. Earth, a seemingly insignificant blue marble, had been under their watchful gaze for millennia. The Council's headquarters, a massive space station hidden in the shadows of a gas giant in a distant star system, bustled with activity. Representatives from various alien races scurried through its labyrinthine corridors, their appendages clicking against the polished floors. At the heart of this cosmic hub, the Council's inner circle convened for an emergency meeting. High Counselor Zixnera, a towering figure with iridescent scales and multiple eyes, called the meeting to order. Esteemed colleagues, they began, their voice reverberating through the chamber. We face an unprecedented crisis. Our observations of Earth have yielded disturbing results. The gathered aliens murmured amongst themselves, a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and guttural sounds filling the air. Zixnera raised a tentacle for silence before continuing. Our latest reports indicate that the humans have achieved a technological breakthrough far ahead of our projections. They are on the brink of discovering faster-than-light travel. Gasps and exclamations of disbelief echoed through the chamber. Counselor Krelox, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline structure, pulsed with agitation. Impossible. We've carefully monitored their progress. How could this have happened? Zixnera's multiple eyes blinked in synchronization, a sign of their own unease. It appears that human ingenuity has outpaced our ability to predict their development. What's more concerning is the nature of their FTL technology. It's unlike anything we've seen before. The Council members exchanged worried glances. Their entire system of galactic control was based on the premise that they alone possessed the secrets of faster-than-light travel. It was the linchpin of their power, allowing them to maintain their dominance over younger races. We must act swiftly, declared Counselor Vreen, a gelatinous entity that shifted colors with each word. Perhaps we should eliminate this threat before it fully materializes. A tense silence fell over the chamber. The suggestion of destroying an entire species was not made lightly, even among the often ruthless council members. Zixnera's scales rippled with disapproval. No, such an action would violate our most sacred laws. We must find another way to contain this situation. As the council debated, none of them noticed the small, spider-like drone clinging to the ceiling. Its multifaceted eyes recorded every word, every gesture, transmitting the data to a secret receiver light years away. On Earth, in a hidden underground facility, a group of humans huddled around a holographic display. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the lead scientist of Project Stargazer, watched the council's meeting with a mixture of fascination and horror. "They know," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the hum of advanced machinery. "They know about the Alcubierre drive." Colonel Jack Harper, the military liaison to the project, clenched his fists. "Damn it. How long have they been watching us?" Dr. Rodriguez shook her head, her mind racing. "That's not important right now. What matters is that they're afraid. We've accomplished something they thought impossible." The team exchanged determined looks. They had long suspected the existence of advanced alien civilizations, but the confirmation of a controlling galactic council changed everything. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, but they were also facing a threat beyond their wildest imaginations. "We need to accelerate the project," Harper declared. "If they decide to move against us, we need to be ready." Dr. Rodriguez nodded, her eyes gleaming with a mix of excitement and apprehension. "Agreed. But we also need to be careful. If we reveal our hand too soon, we might provoke them into taking drastic action." As the team dispersed to their stations, each member felt the weight of their responsibility. They were no longer just scientists and soldiers. They were humanity's first line of defense against an alien threat that had been pulling the strings of galactic civilization for eons. Back in the council chamber, the debate raged on. Proposals were made and discarded, from sending covert agents to sabotage Earth's progress to initiating a full-scale quarantine of the Sol system. Zixnera, growing increasingly frustrated with the lack of consensus, finally raised all four of their appendages for silence. "We will send an observation team," they declared, "a mixed group of our best scientists and diplomats. They will assess the situation firsthand and report back. Based on their findings, we will decide our next course of action." The council members reluctantly agreed, knowing that time was of the essence. As they finalized the details of the mission, none of them could have predicted the series of events their decision would set in motion. On Earth, as the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, Dr. Rodriguez and her team worked tirelessly. The prototype Alcubierre drive hummed with potential, its revolutionary design promising to bend the very fabric of space-time. "We're close," Rodriguez muttered, her fingers flying over holographic controls. "So close to breaking free of our cosmic cradle." Little did she know that humanity's first steps into the galactic community would be far more tumultuous and far more hilarious than anyone could have imagined. The stage was set for a cosmic comedy of errors that would shake the foundations of the Galactic Council and change the fate of humanity forever. As the Earth continued its silent rotation, blissfully unaware of the attention it had garnered, the gears of galactic politics began to turn. The humans, with their unique blend of determination, creativity, and sheer audacity, were about to stumble onto the galactic stage in a way that would leave the Council reeling, and the rest of the galaxy in stitches. First contact and human ingenuity. The Galactic Council's observation vessel, the Celestial Scrutinizer, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. Its sleek, otherworldly design was a testament to the advanced technology of the Council races. On board, a diverse crew of aliens prepared for their first close encounter with humanity. Captain Exorlath, a towering insectoid with compound eyes and iridescent wings, surveyed the bridge with an air of superiority. "Engage cloaking systems," he chittered to his crew. "We must observe without being detected." As the ship shimmered into invisibility, Dr. Zielke, the mission's lead xenobiologist, approached the captain. Her gelatinous form quivered with excitement. "Captain, our long-range scans are picking up some unusual activity on the third planet." Thorlath's antennae twitched with interest. "Show me." A holographic display materialized, showing a bird's-eye view of a sprawling facility in the middle of a desert. Strange energy signatures pulsed from its center, unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. "It appears to be some sort of propulsion testing site," Dr. Zielke observed, "but the energy output is off the charts. It's as if they're trying to bend space itself." Thorlath's mandibles clicked in agitation. "Impossible. These primitives couldn't possibly." "Wait, what's that?" The display zoomed in on a group of humans exiting the facility. They were wearing what appeared to be crude protective suits, but it was what they were carrying that caught the aliens' attention. Each human held a small, furry creature close to their chest. "Are those weapons?" one of the junior officers asked nervously. Dr. Zielke's gelatinous form rippled with confusion. "No, I believe they're called cats. Earth's datanet suggests they're some sort of domesticated companion species. But why would they bring them to a top-secret facility?" As the aliens watched in bewilderment, the humans began their testing procedure. The cats were placed in small, comfortable-looking pods attached to a larger device. Energy levels began to spike, and suddenly, a blinding flash of light engulfed the area. When the light faded, the pods and the cats were gone. "By the cosmic eggs," Exorlath exclaimed. "Did they just disintegrate their own pets?" Before anyone could respond, another flash lit up the facility. The pods reappeared, and to the aliens' astonishment, the cats emerged, looking completely unharmed and rather pleased with themselves. Dr. Zielke's form pulsated rapidly, her equivalent of a gasp. "They've done it. They've achieved controlled faster-than-light travel, and they tested it on cats. The bridge erupted into chaos as the alien crew tried to process what they had just witnessed. Torlath, his composure cracking, barked orders to initiate emergency protocols. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Dr. Elena Rodriguez grinned as she scooped up Mr. Whiskers, her tabby cat and unofficial mascot of Project Stargazer. "Good job, buddy," she cooed. "You've just made history as the first Earth life form to travel faster than light." Colonel Harper approached, shaking his head in disbelief. "I still can't believe your crazy idea worked, Doc." "Cats. We tested the most revolutionary propulsion system in human history on cats." Elena shrugged, scratching Mr. Whiskers behind the ears. "Hey, they're agile. They land on their feet. And they've got 9 lives. Plus, they're much cuter than lab rats." As the human team celebrated their breakthrough, they remained oblivious to the panic they had just induced in their alien observers. Aboard the Celestial Scrutinizer, Captain Torlath was facing a mutiny of sorts. His crew, fascinated by the humans' unconventional approach and their apparent affection for these small furry creatures, were clamoring for a closer look. "We can't risk detection," Torlath insisted, his wings buzzing with agitation. Dr. Zielka, however, had other ideas. "Captain, with all due respect, we need to understand their technology. And, well, I'd very much like to see one of these cats up close." Before Torlath could object further, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Proximity alert." The navigation officer shouted. "Something's approaching at impossible speeds." On the view screen, a small object materialized out of nowhere. As it drew closer, the aliens could make out its shape, a perfect replica of their own ship, barely larger than a human hand, with a small, grinning cat sitting in what appeared to be the captain's chair. It's adorable," one of the crew members whispered in awe. Zorlath's compound eyes bulged in disbelief. "How did they? Is this some kind of joke?" As if in response, the miniature ship began to emit a series of melodious tones. It took the aliens a moment to realize it was a mathematical sequence, prime numbers, to be exact. Dr. Zielka's gelatinous form vibrated with excitement. "Captain, they're initiating first contact with a cat in a tiny spaceship." Zorlath, his mandibles clicking furiously, realized he had lost control of the situation. "Fine," he chittered resignedly. "Prepare for whatever this is, but maintain cloaking. We can't let them see our full." His words were cut short as the ship's systems suddenly went haywire. Lights flickered, gravity fluctuated, and the cloaking device sputtered out of existence. On Earth, Elena and her team watched in amazement as a massive alien ship materialized in low Earth orbit, clearly visible to the naked eye. "Well," Colonel Harper said dryly, "I guess the cat's out of the bag now." Elena groaned at the pun but couldn't suppress a grin. "Time for Plan B, then." "Mr. Whiskers," she addressed the cat, who was now sporting a tiny spacesuit complete with a fishbowl helmet. "You're up. Operation Cosmic Catnip is a go." As the world below erupted into a frenzy at the sight of the alien ship, a small, cat-piloted vessel detached from the Stargazer facility, zipping towards the Celestial Scrutinizer with impossible agility. Aboard the alien ship, chaos reigned. "How did they detect us?" Torlath demanded. "How did they disable our systems?" Dr. Zielka, studying the readings from the approaching mini-ship, let out a sound that might have been a laugh. "Captain, I think they'd like to talk. And they're bringing cookies." As Mr. Whiskers' ship docked with the Celestial Scrutinizer, the stage was set for the most unexpected, and arguably the most adorable first contact in galactic history. Humanity, with its unique blend of scientific brilliance and utter absurdity, was about to turn the Galactic Council's carefully ordered universe upside down, one purr at a time. The booping phenomenon. As Mr. Whiskers' miniature spacecraft docked with the Celestial Scrutinizer, the alien crew watched in a mixture of fascination and trepidation. The airlock cycled, and out stepped, or rather, sauntered, a cat wearing a custom-made spacesuit, complete with a fishbowl helmet and a backpack that seemed to be purring. Captain Exorlat's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation. This is preposterous. We are the Galactic Council's elite observation team, not some petting zoo. Dr. Zielka, however, was already inching closer to the feline ambassador, her gelatinous form quivering with excitement. Fascinating. Look at its locomotive method. And those whiskers, clearly sensory organs of some kind. Mr. Whiskers, for his part, seemed entirely unperturbed by his alien surroundings. He sat down, curled his tail around his feet, and began to groom himself nonchalantly. Suddenly, a holographic projection sprang to life from the cat's backpack. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's face appeared, grinning widely. "Greetings, representatives of the Galactic Council. I hope you don't mind our unconventional approach to first contact. We figured if you've been watching us, turnabout is fair play." Thorlath's wings buzzed in indignation. How dare you? This is a violation of all established protocols." Elena's grin only widened. "Oh, we're just getting started. Mr. Whiskers, if you please." The cat stood up, stretched languidly, and then did something that would forever change the course of galactic history. He sauntered up to the nearest alien, which happened to be Dr. Zielka, raised a paw, and gently tapped her gelatinous surface. Boop! Elena's voice rang out cheerfully through the hologram. The effect was instantaneous and utterly unexpected. Dr. Zielka's entire form shimmered with a rainbow of colors, and a sound that could only be described as a squeal of delight emanated from her. Oh my. What was that?" Zielka burbled, her usual scientific detachment completely forgotten. Before anyone could react, Mr. Whiskers had moved on to his next target. One by one, he booped each alien crew member, each touch eliciting the unique and invariably positive reaction. Some of the aliens began to glow, others emitted musical tones, and a few even started to float gently off the ground. Captain Exorlath, watching his crew dissolve into a state of euphoric chaos, backed away in horror. "Stay back, you furry fiend," he chittered, his wings buzzing frantically. But it was too late. Mr. Whiskers, with the uncanny ability of all cats to seek out the least willing recipient of their attention, zeroed in on Captain Exorlath. With a graceful leap that defied the ship's artificial gravity, the feline ambassador pounced, his paw connecting squarely with Exorlath's thorax. Boop! The effect was electric, quite literally. Exorlath's exoskeleton lit up like a Christmas tree, sparks dancing between his antennae. His compound eyes whirled in their sockets, and a sound somewhere between a chirp and a giggle escaped his mandibles. What? Oh my." Exorlath stammered, his usual authoritative demeanor completely shattered. That was awesome. Elena's hologram supplied helpfully. "Unprecedented," Exorlath managed to say, though he couldn't quite keep the note of wonder out of his voice. As the initial shock wore off, the alien crew found themselves gathered around Mr. Whiskers, all thoughts of protocol and superiority forgotten. Dr. Zielka was beside herself with excitement, her gelatinous form rippling with each new discovery. "The physical contact seems to trigger a neurochemical response," she burbled, running a scanner over Mr. Whiskers. "But it's not just that. There's some kind of energy transfer. It's rewriting our synaptic pathways, creating new neural connections. It's magic," one of the junior officers whispered reverently, reaching out a tentacle to gently stroke Mr. Whiskers' fur. Elena's hologram chuckled. "Not magic, just good old-fashioned human ingenuity, with a feline twist. You see, when we discovered your observation protocols, we knew we needed a way to break through your preconceptions about us. And what better way than with the Internet's favorite animal?" Captain Exorlath, still twitching slightly from residual sparks, managed to pull himself together. But But how? How did you imbue this creature with such power? Elena's expression turned serious. That's the thing, Captain. We didn't. Mr. Whiskers here is just a regular Earth cat. What you're experiencing is the pure, unadulterated effect of what we call cuteness. It's a force that's shaped our culture, our technology, even our evolution. And now, it seems, it works on a galactic scale. The implications of this revelation slowly sank in among the alien crew. They had come expecting to find a primitive species on the verge of a technological breakthrough. Instead, they had encountered a civilization that had weaponized adorableness. As if to underscore this point, Mr. Whiskers chose that moment to curl up in the middle of the bridge and start purring. The sound reverberated through the ship, causing systems to recalibrate and unknown subroutines to activate. Displays flickered to life, showing images of cats from throughout Earth's history, from ancient Egyptian statues to modern-day internet memes. What's happening? Orcs demanded, watching as his ship's AI seemed to rewrite itself before his eyes. Elena's hologram smiled cryptically. Let's just say Mr. Whiskers is introducing your systems to the concept of cat videos. I'd advise buckling up. Your productivity is about to take a serious hit. Over the next few hours, as the celestial scrutinizer's systems were thoroughly felinized, Elena and her team back on Earth explained their grand plan. They had discovered the Council's observation posts years ago and had been feeding them carefully curated information ever since. We knew we couldn't match you technologically, Elena explained. At least not in a way you'd respect. So we decided to hit you with something you'd never expect. The power of awe. The Alcubierre drive tests with cats. A cover for their real breakthrough. The harnessing of what they called cuddle energy. The miniature ship. A Trojan horse, designed to bypass the aliens' defenses with sheer adorableness. As the implications of this sank in, Captain Axorlath found himself facing a difficult decision. The humans had effectively neutralized his ship and crew, not with weapons, but with an overwhelming dose of cuteness. His mission was in shambles, the carefully maintained superiority of the Galactic Council crumbling in the face of purrs and toe beans. What do you want from us? He finally asked, absently scratching Mr. Whiskers behind the ears. Elena's hologram smiled warmly. What we've always wanted. A chance to join the galactic community on our own terms. We're not interested in conquering or controlling. We just want to explore, to learn, and yes, to share our cats with the universe. As if on cue, Mr. Whiskers stood up, stretched, and then did something that sealed the deal. He rolled over, exposing his fluffy belly. The entire alien crew gasped in unison. Dr. Zielka's scanners went haywire. The levels of adorableness, she stammered. They're off the charts. Thorlath knew he was beaten. In the face of such overwhelming cuteness, how could the Council possibly maintain its stance of superiority? With a resigned click of his mandibles, he made his decision. Very well, he said, reaching down to gently rub Mr. Whiskers' exposed belly. I will recommend to the Council that Earth be granted full membership status, on one condition. Elena raised an eyebrow. And that is? Korlath's compound eyes gleamed with an emotion no human had ever seen in an alien before, the unmistakable look of a being who has just become a cat person. We're going to need more cats. As the celestial scrutinizer prepared to return to the Council with its world-shaking report, Mr. Whiskers curled up in the captain's chair, purring contentedly. Humanity's first steps into the galactic community had been unconventional, to say the least. But as cat videos began to spread across the galactic internet at faster-than-light speeds, one thing was clear: the universe would never be the same again. The booping phenomenon had only just begun. Humanity's unlikely alliance. As news of the booping incident spread across the galaxy, the Galactic Council found itself in an unprecedented state of chaos. The carefully maintained hierarchy of species was crumbling, all thanks to a small, furry Earth creature and its inexplicable ability to induce joy across interspecies boundaries. In an emergency session, the council chambers were abuzz with a cacophony of alien languages, each representative trying to make sense of the reports from the celestial scrutinizer. High Counselor Zixnera struggled to maintain order, their iridescent scales flickering with stress. "Order. I demand order." Zixnera's voice boomed across the chamber. "We must approach this situation with the gravity it deserves." But it was difficult to maintain gravity when half the council members were surreptitiously watching cat videos on their datapads. The feline fever, as it came to be known, was spreading faster than any quarantine could contain. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Dr. Elena Rodriguez and her team were working around the clock to prepare for their new role on the galactic stage. The world's governments, after the initial shock of alien contact, had united with unprecedented speed behind what was now being called the Whiskers Initiative. "I still can't believe this is happening," Colonel Harper muttered, watching as a team of diplomats received instruction on proper cat handling techniques. "We're about to negotiate our place in the galaxy, and our secret weapon is cats." Elena grinned, cradling Mr. Whiskers in her arms. "Sometimes the best solutions are the simplest ones, Colonel. Now let's go make some intergalactic friends." As Earth prepared its first official delegation to the Galactic Council, an unexpected ally emerged from the cosmic woodwork. The felinoids of Perseus EX, a race of sentient cat-like beings from the far reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy, had caught wind of the booping phenomenon and were fascinated by their distant Earth cousins. Ambassador Myophytes, a regal felinoid with sleek silver fur and eyes like swirling galaxies, arrived on Earth in a ship that looked suspiciously like a giant ball of yarn. As she sauntered down the ramp, the assembled human dignitaries couldn't help but feel a sense of awe, and an inexplicable urge to offer her a saucer of milk. "Greetings, humans," Myophytes purred, her tail swishing regally. "We have traveled far to meet the species that has mastered the art of galactic booping. We wish to form an alliance." And so, in a twist that not even the most creative science fiction writer could have predicted, humanity's entrance into galactic politics came with a feline entourage. The joint human felinoid delegation set off for the Galactic Council headquarters, their ship's hold filled with Earth's mightiest diplomats, and a small army of cats. As they approached the massive space station that served as the Council's seat of power, Elena felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Remember," she addressed her team, "we're not here to conquer or dominate. We're here to make friends, to learn, and to share the joy of cuddles with the cosmos." Ambassador Myophytes, lounging on a custom-made scratching post command chair, nodded approvingly. "Well said, human. The universe has been lacking in cuddles for far too long." The delegation's arrival at the council station caused a stir unlike anything seen in the station's long history. As the airlock cycled open, a wave of anticipation swept through the gathered alien dignitaries. And then, to the astonishment of all present, the first beings to step out were not the expected human diplomats, but a parade of cats, each wearing a tiny spacesuit adorned with the flags of Earth nations. Leading the procession was none other than Mr. Whiskers, his fishbowl helmet gleaming under the station's lights. With all the dignity his feline heritage afforded him, he sauntered up to High Counselor Zixnera and, without a hint of hesitation, placed a gentle paw on their shimmering scales. "Boop," came the soft announcement from Elena's translator, and the entire council chamber held its breath. Zixnera's reaction was immediate and profound. Their scales rippled with a rainbow of colors, and a sound that could only be described as a delighted trill echoed through the chamber. "Oh my," they breathed, their multiple eyes wide with wonder. "Oh my, indeed." And just like that, the ice was broken. Council members rushed forward, all protocol forgotten, each eager to experience the legendary boop for themselves. The chamber descended into a scene of joyous chaos, with dignified alien leaders reduced to cooing and giggling as Earth's feline ambassadors worked their magic. In the midst of this euphoric diplomacy, Elena and Ambassador Myophytes exchanged knowing glances. Phase 1 of their plan had worked perfectly. Now came the tricky part, translating this goodwill into meaningful change in the galactic political landscape. As the initial excitement began to subside, Elena stepped forward to address the council. "Esteemed members of the galactic community," she began, her voice carrying across the now hushed chamber. "We come before you not as conquerors or supplicants, but as friends. We bring with us not weapons of war, but creatures of comfort. Not threats, but the promise of companionship." She gestured to the cats, now being cradled and petted by various alien diplomats. "These beings have shaped our civilization in ways we're only beginning to understand. They've taught us the value of gentleness, of play, of living in the moment. And now we hope to share these lessons with you all." Ambassador Myafitz stepped up beside her, her tail entwining with Elena's leg in a show of solidarity. "The felinoids of Perseus EX stand with our Earth cousins," she announced. "We propose a new paradigm for galactic governance, one based not on fear or domination, but on mutual care and respect. We call it the Galactic Cuddle Coalition." A murmur ran through the assembled aliens, a mix of confusion, amusement, and, increasingly, intrigue. High Counselor Zixnera, still absent-mindedly petting Mr. Whiskers, called for order. "This is most irregular," they said, their voice carrying a note of uncertainty. "The Galactic Council has stood for eons, maintaining order across the cosmos. How could we possibly?" Their words trailed off as Mr. Whiskers began to purr, the sound reverberating through the chamber like a soothing cosmic hum. One by one, the council members felt their objections melting away, replaced by a warm, fuzzy feeling that many of them had never experienced before. "Perhaps," Zixnera continued, their tone softening, "perhaps it is time for a change, a gentler approach to galactic governance." And so, in a historic moment that would be remembered across the cosmos for eons to come, the Galactic Council voted to dissolve itself and reform as the Galactic Cuddle Coalition. Earth, along with Perseus AX, was granted a leading role in shaping this new interstellar order. As the newly christened coalition members mingled, sharing stories and petting cats, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, armed with nothing more than fuzzy companions and a willingness to share the simple joy of a gentle boop. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was a very good thing indeed. The fall of the Council and Earth's ascension. In the months that followed the formation of the Galactic Cuddle Coalition, the universe witnessed a transformation unlike any in cosmic history. The rigid structures of the old Galactic Council crumbled, replaced by a more flexible, compassionate form of interstellar governance. Earth, once a cosmic backwater, now found itself at the center of a galactic renaissance. The planet became a hub of interspecies cultural exchange, with aliens from across the universe flocking to experience the magic of the boop firsthand. In New York City, the newly constructed intergalactic feline embassy became the most visited site on the planet. Its halls were filled with a cacophony of alien languages, all exclaiming in delight as they interacted with Earth's cats. The sight of a Zorblaxian tentacle beast gently petting a purring tabby became a common, heartwarming scene. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now serving as Earth's chief ambassador to the coalition, found herself busier than ever. Today, she was preparing for a crucial meeting that would determine the future of galactic transportation. "Are you sure about this, Doc?" Colonel Harper asked, eyeing the device on the conference table warily. "It seems risky." Elena grinned, adjusting the device, a scaled-up version of Mr. Whisker's original booping apparatus. "Sometimes, Colonel, you have to think outside the box. Or in this case, outside the ship." As coalition representatives filed into the room, a hush fell over the assembled aliens. High Counselor Zixnera, their scales shimmering with anticipation, took their place at the head of the table. "Esteemed colleagues," Elena began, "we've gathered here today to address the issue of faster-than-light travel. The old Council's monopoly on FTL technology kept many species isolated and controlled. We propose a new system, one that will make interstellar travel accessible to all." She activated the device, and a holographic image sprang to life above the table. It showed a massive feline-shaped space station, with ships entering and exiting through what appeared to be paw pads. "I present to you," Elena announced proudly, "the Interstellar Catway Network." The room erupted in a mixture of gasps, murmurs, and more than a few confused alien equivalents of meows. Elena continued, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "By harnessing the quantum entanglement properties we discovered in cat purrs, we've developed a network of transportation hubs that can instantly transport ships across vast distances. No more expensive FTL drives, no more restrictive trade routes. Just step into a paw pad, think of your destination, and, boop, you're there." The coalition members listened in rapt attention as Elena explained the technical details. The Catway Network would revolutionize galactic travel, trade, and communication. More importantly, it would bring the diverse species of the universe closer together than ever before. As the presentation concluded, High Counselor Zixnera's scales rippled with an array of colors that could only be described. As the presentation concluded, High Counselor Zixnera's scales rippled with an array of colors that could only be described as joyous. "Dr. Rodriguez," they began, their voice filled with wonder. "Once again, your species has surprised us all. The Interstellar Catway Network it's revolutionary." The chamber erupted in a chorus of agreement, each species expressing their approval in their own unique way. The Zorblaxians released clouds of aromatic spores, the crystalline quartz collective chimed melodiously, and the gaseous nebulons pulsed with vibrant hues. Ambassador Myophytes, representing the Felinoids, stood up, her tail swishing with excitement. "As the cosmic cousins of Earth's cats, we wholeheartedly endorse this initiative. The Catway Network will usher in a new era of galactic unity and understanding." As the vote was called, the outcome was unanimous. The Interstellar Catway Network would become a reality, forever changing the face of galactic civilization. In the years that followed, the universe witnessed a transformation beyond anyone's wildest dreams. The first Catway hub, a massive space station shaped like a sleeping cat, was constructed in orbit around Earth. Its inauguration ceremony was attended by representatives from thousands of worlds, each eager to be among the first to experience this new mode of travel. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now hailed as one of the greatest minds in the galaxy, stood before the airlock of the first departing ship. Mr. Whiskers, now venerable but still spree, was perched on her shoulder, wearing a miniature version of her official coalition uniform. Today, Elena addressed the assembled crowd, her words broadcast across the cosmos. "We take a leap forward not just in technology, but in unity. The Catway Network isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about bringing us all closer together, about fostering understanding and compassion across the vastness of space." With a dramatic flourish, she pressed her hand against the oversized paw pad that served as the airlock's opening mechanism. "Let the journey begin." The ship, sleek and adorned with playful cat ear antennae, glided into the Catway's entrance. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a sound that could only be described as a cosmic purr, the ship vanished in a shimmer of iridescent light. Seconds later, cheers erupted from the control room. The ship had successfully arrived at Alpha Centauri, a journey of over 4 light-years, in the blink of an eye. As news of the successful maiden voyage spread, celebrations broke out across the galaxy. On countless worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes embraced, shared meals, and yes, even booped each other in joy. The old power structures of the Galactic Council were now nothing but a distant memory. In their place stood a thriving, interconnected cosmic community, built on the foundations of mutual respect, shared knowledge, and an appreciation for the simple joys of life, like petting a purring cat. Earth, once a primitive backwater, had become the heart of this new galactic order. The planet was now a bustling hub of interstellar culture and commerce, its cities a vibrant tapestry of human and alien life coexisting in harmony. And at the center of it all were the cats. From the alleyways of New York to the rings of Saturn, felines had become the unofficial ambassadors of peace. Diplomatic tensions were often resolved with the simple introduction of a playful kitten, and more than one interstellar war had been averted by the timely intervention of a well-placed boop. As Elena gazed out at the star-studded expanse from the observation deck of the Catway hub, Mr. Whiskers purring contentedly in her arms, she couldn't help but marvel at the journey that had brought them here. "You know, old friend," she murmured, scratching behind his ears, "when we first started this project, I never imagined we'd end up here. We set out to explore the stars, and instead, we've reshaped the very fabric of galactic society." Mr. Whiskers looked up at her, his green eyes gleaming with what Elena could have sworn was a knowing glint. With a soft meow, he reached out a paw and gently tapped her nose. Boop. Elena laughed, feeling a wave of warmth and contentment wash over her. In that simple gesture was the essence of everything they had achieved: the breaking down of barriers, the fostering of connections, the sharing of joy across the boundaries of species and space. As she turned her gaze back to the stars, Elena felt a profound sense of excitement for what the future might hold. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, armed with nothing more than compassion, curiosity, and cats, and somehow, against all odds, it had worked. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was the greatest adventure of all.